Beat making basics.
What's going on YouTube? Beat Making Basics back again with another dope video. If you're new to my channel, please do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe as well as give me a thumbs up. Definitely helps out the channel. But without further ado, let's jump right in. Now today we're actually going to be going over how to actually create your own lo-fi drum patterns, okay, in Logic Pro 10. All right, now before we get into the video, I do want to go ahead and preference that you can go to my website, Beat Making Basics, grab full video courses and kits and melody packs, drum packs, all that type of stuff. Just letting you know we have it out there, beatmakingbasics.com. But anyway, let's jump into the video. I already went through and selected a bunch of drum sounds that I want to use in this beat. So just to save time, let's just kind of listen to what we got going. Drug them into the quick sampler, pretty simple. All right, and so as you notice, I have a couple of different sounds per instrument. So like for instance, the kick drum, I kind of wanted to keep that simple and just keep that like one kick drum here that's going to be consistent throughout everything. But I wanted to be a little bit of variation with the snare, the hi-hats, things like that. Now, the first thing I think that you should do when it comes to laying down drums for lo-fi is the same thing you would do for any other beat. Start with like a snare. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, cool. So before we lay down the snare, I just had to figure out which one I wanted to go with. Let's go ahead and lay it down. And one thing to keep in mind when it comes to laying down drums on a lo-fi beat is that the drums are going to be low-key off beat, but on, if that makes sense. It's going to have a heavy swing on it. I also want to let you listen to, if you're brand new to this, listen to what I put together as well as far as the melody, and then we can go ahead and lay down the drums. All right, bet. So now we got that out the way. You can hear the vibes and everything like that. Let's lay down the drums. Now, some tips here is that you want to actually kind of sound out the drum pattern in your head first before you lay it down. You can freestyle it, but since it's like a completely new genre or whatever, sometimes it might take a little bit of sounding out in your head. The pattern I'm kind of listening to has a swing with the hats is going. And that's what I was just getting at as I was listening to it. So we're gonna just kind of play everything off of that. So we're gonna lay down the snare first, and then keeping that pattern in mind for the hi-hat. You feel me? So let's go. And one thing I like to also just go ahead and explain here, I would recommend not necessarily hard quantizing your patterns and stuff like that. Like, of course, you want it to be on beat, but a lot of times what I do is, as you can see here with the actual metrics, I went ahead and took the strength down a little bit just so it has more of a natural vibe here. And then also another thing you can do is put it on the swing here. So you can do 1/16 swing A, B, C, or D. Just kind of figure out which one is going to work well. And since we're doing lo-fi, you might want to do like either a swing B or C. But we're just going to put it at 50 strength, and let's see how it sounds now. All right, bet. So we have a good snare pattern going here. Now let's go ahead and start working on the hi-hats. Now, if you remember that little pattern I was telling you I was hearing in my head, we're gonna lay that down, but we're just gonna kind of keep it simple here. So it's like, so let's just kind of see what we can do here. All right, let's see. And the cool thing is, like, when you have a consistent pattern going, you don't necessarily have to play it all the way through. You can just basically loop it. So we'll go ahead and quantize that with our 1/16 swing B, half strength here. Let's see how it sounds. Draw some notes here. All right, and I'm just holding down Option to drag this over here. And if you feel like it's too off, you can always push the strength up just a little bit. We'll put it like at 70. I'm going to join these tracks together. I don't know why that felt better on this last one we did, but anyway, what I'm gonna do here is really kind of master this hi-hat melody here by adding a little variation with note velocity. And so I'll just highlight everything, and we're just gonna click right there. Make sure the nodes are selected right there, and I can kind of come around here and mess around with certain things. So we'll take this like that. Just kind of affecting some of these notes here. And if you can kind of see the pattern I'm doing here, like basically if I just count from here, this note right here, I'm gonna take the velocity down every measure. Boom, that's another measure. Boom. So I really don't have to think about it too much. This is gonna be the next note. You want to watch out for some of this stuff. So this guy right here, he's going to be next. And there's always other ways to do this. You can skin cats a whole lot of different ways. If y'all know a quicker way to do something like this, let me know. But this is the kind of the way I know to do it. And if you notice, like, just by changing the velocity on this, it did a whole lot, I feel like, at least for the actual beat. I'm not gonna lie to you. It just gave more of that swing that I was looking for just by changing the velocity here. So I can turn these down even some more if I want to, and to really drive home that swing vibe with those hats. Alright, bet. So now all I gotta do is just take this and drag it on over, and now we having a perfectly, you know, aligned hi-hat pattern for lo-fi. As you can see here, I have this other track here. Sometimes I like to add little accent pieces just to kind of like mix it up a little bit, because you don't want it to be too much like a loop. So we'll do something like that. Okay, and then we'll just quantize it, same settings here. Might be a little bit too much going on, honestly. Yeah, so we'll just do it every once in a while. Alright, so we'll add this other instrument right here, and we'll just do that like every other clap or snare. And I'm not gonna pay attention to the snare right now. We'll start working on the kick. So we're gonna do something like that, like a swing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's all about a real heavy swing here. Let's try it. Cool. So that's just like our first rough draft. We'll just make sure it sounds right after we quantize it. so I don't think this actual other snare really goes well with it. Technically, this could be snare 1, and that block sound that could be technically like snare 2, just to keep things simple. And I'm gonna save this as well. I really feel like, you know, when it comes to like laying down your drums, you don't want to just necessarily rush. You want to, you know, make sure everything works well together. So like what I'm gonna find out is like maybe I need to, you know, do a little something different with this hi-hat to make it, you know, really vibe well like I wanted to, you feel me? So let's keep on working with this. So maybe that quantized that swing C might work out better for this beat. So we're just gonna go through here and quantize everything on that C. It may or may not make a difference for certain things. I know it did for that hi-hat. And just to make sure it really flows well here, and I don't necessarily need this other hi-hat, to be honest with you. It's cool, but it's not necessary. So we only want to really keep what's necessary here, and that's what you got to just make those executive decisions here as producers. Let's just start bringing in some of these other instrument sounds just to make sure that the beat sounds pretty lit. So I just added these other 2 notes because I kind of wanted it to go along with that horn, that bum, bum, bum. So I put that to kind of match a little bit of the melody, just to accent that. Okay, oops, we want to put that on the swing. Cool. So actually I just went ahead and decided to opt out of adding a lot more extra kicks. I felt like sometimes when you like overdo things, especially, you know, in music, it can actually end up messing up the vibe. So what I decided to do is we're gonna just go ahead and end this right here at that. You know, I know it's only 4 tracks here. We just really technically 3 because you have just the kick, the snare, and a hi-hat. But you know, that's really gonna be enough to get that vibe here. And as you can see here, we can kind of play around with the different tracks to bring in some like different sections in the lo-fi beat. But anyway, y'all, thank you all for watching. I will be continuing this series with this particular beat, so stay tuned for the next video where we'll be actually arranging this into song format. I'll be giving you some tips and tricks on that when it comes to lo-fi beats. Make sure you also go ahead and grab courses and kits on my website if you feel that you like the teaching style and like all that type of stuff that I'm doing here on this channel. Make sure you go ahead and go to my website, support there. It's gonna really help you out. Like a lot of these courses that I have on my site, they're literally like 3, 4, 5 hour long courses, you know, so it's literally going in depth. And the cool thing is that you can download it onto your computer. You don't necessarily have to have an internet connection once you download the courses or anything like that. You take it at your own pace. Okay, so grab those courses. Make sure if you don't do anything else, you get subscribed to the channel and give me a thumbs up on the video if you liked the content. Thanks so much. Got much love for y'all, and I will see you in the next video.